Hey everybody, welcome to Comic and Collectible Treasures number 38. I'm JD, aka Ragin Cajun Comics. Just in case it's your first time tuning in, I do appreciate you watching live or the replay. Today we have another brother who has one of the coolest shows and coolest group that they have on the YouTube channel, which I love to follow. I always catch them usually on the replay because when I get out of work, I'm driving home and watching them. So I do listen to them when they're live. It's just I always catch it. They also have some Saturday shows. They're branching on their own. They just got a lot of stuff in the works, which is super cool. But I'm super excited. I tried to get this brother on earlier. We just had some conflict of times, which is understandable. But I'm super happy now that I have him here, and it's back to back brother from the same group. So forget me talking. Let's just get this brother in. So I have a little clip. If you don't know this guy, I think this kind of sums him up, a little homage to him. I hope he likes it. Let's get it started. Nah, I don't think that one was cool. Let's try this one. No, not quite there. I think this is the perfect way to introduce this brother. You guys let me know. Boom!
that clip had me grinning because I remember actually that Family Guy clip. I actually shared that in my Facebook or my IG timeline at like once upon a time. That clip is all too familiar for me. All the way down to Peter Griffin mimicking like the voice and all that. That was a classic clip. So yeah,
welcome,
thank you
brother.
For that intro.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I saw this and it was screaming you. I'm just gonna say it real quick. If you guys are just watching it for the first time and you don't know this guy, Hyper Combo Comics. Welcome to Comic and Collectible Treasures, brother.
Thank you, JD. Thank you. Yeah, and like you said before, this was supposed to happen a while back, but scheduling conflict, and then also I kind of got injured and all that, so
yes,
things kind of got moved back. But you know what? We're here, and I'm kind of happy. Not kind of. I am happy. Why am I saying kind of? I am happy that you were finally doing this, and yeah, ready to geek out.
Yes, thank you, and I'm glad you're better. I knew the part where you were injured. I'm glad you're doing okay, brother.
Thank you. Still mending, but yeah, a lot better than a few months ago. So.
Okay, good. Yeah. So before we hit the chat, I always do this part where I let you introduce yourself, where you're from, and your group to plug your group. So I always geek out and forget at the end. So I do it at the beginning. So please, I'm gonna give you the platform, and you let them know where you're from and your group and where they can find you on YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Hyper Combo Comics. I've been doing this whole IG YouTube thing probably since like post-COVID. I would say almost like 2020 or 2021. I can't remember. I'm part of the group called Comic Kingpins. It's me, Black Crown Comics, FaceTime, Comic Dude, Mr. Key Issues, and then we added 2 new members, Marvel Comics and Pacino Comics. So that makes 7 of us. And yeah, we do our regular shows on Mondays at 7 p.m. where we kind of do weekly new comic book day picks. Our famous trade center where we put 2 books against each other and then we each vote which book we would pick over the other. And then every 2 weeks we do a Show Me Your Haul show where we basically have ourselves and sometimes guests from the community. JD, at one point you're going to have to come on to that Show Me Your Haul show where we basically kind of show what we picked up in the last 2 weeks, or it could have been prior, just to kind of let the community know what we're kind of picking up on our end, and generally what we're collecting. And then Saturdays we have our FOC show where we basically let people know what books they may want to keep a lookout for, and what books like might be under the radar that you might want to call your LCS and find out. And then, like you mentioned before, we are branching out into other channels. And my brother Black Crown Comics launched his own channel. He actually has an episode tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, so that would be 6 p.m. Pacific. Definitely tune into that. He's on his 3rd episode, and I was actually had guest on his episode last week. So he's doing some big things on his own, and I also have my own YouTube channel. Although my YouTube channel is still in the works right now. I'm just posting. I did do some hauls, but right now I'm just posting video game clips, mainly for the moment Street Fighter and Street Fighter 6, which just came out last week. that I've been playing the holy hell out of. To the point that I actually, and this is no lie, I actually have blisters on my thumb from basically. I'm hoping to develop a callus so that I don't have. So basically, I can do the combos and it doesn't hurt as much. But yeah, we're at that point where basically I'm developing. Like I have battle scars playing on a controller.
Yeah,
So.
I saw the episode, so I was watching it, and I started laughing when you talked about it. I was hoping you bring it up. But
It's real. It's real.
yeah,
It's not an exaggeration.
it's like if you play football, you get bumps and bruises. Video games, you're using your hands, but like really fast. So
Yeah, and it's not
understand.
and it's not like an injury. It's not like like a scar that you can actually brag about to the
No,
normal folk. It's like, where'd you get that? I was just playing Street Fighter like
yeah,
for a
but
few
gamers
hours,
know,
and then
and you do help out Team Nerd Herd when you jump on for the Game Addicts as well, right?
Yeah, the game addicts. I do hop on periodically with
Yep.
Carlos, and sometimes Alonzo pops on
Mhm.
Saturdays. They do it at 8 p.m. Eastern, so I guess it would be 5
Yes.
Pacific. They do their own Game Addicts channel.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, like I know that predominantly I've been posting a lot of comics, but before comics, my love was video games and gaming. So that was always kind of like my first passion, and then comics kind of came after.
Yeah, hey, it's okay. That's all good, brother. Thanks for the intro. I appreciate it. So if you're not subbing him up, please follow him and all his brothers. So before we get geeking out here, let's see who's here. First of all, we have Mr. Wong. What's up, Lion Bro? He's first in.
What's up? Something wrong?
Oh,
Speaking of which,
there you go. Second, baby. What's up, Black Crown? Make sure you follow him as well and his shows later on today. So you go ahead and give him a little drop by and show some love. Lord Chucks, what's up, brother? The guy who has the snow all year round. He's amazing. I love watching.
Where does he live?
I think it's Denver.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
always
Okay,
snowy.
Yeah.
If I'm incorrect, Chucks, correct me, brother. Oh, Mike, what's up, brother? Thanks for dropping by. Another brother right there. Everybody else saying hi to each other. Phil, what's up?
Hey, cousin Phil.
Check out his new show, which is every other Sunday, and I'm gonna play next week with him. So I'm gonna go against Mike. So hopefully,
nice.
I can beat him
for that.
Yeah, and he gives away prizes to everybody who's in the chat. 2 people in the chat. So if I'll be representing one person, he pulls the name out of, and then Mike will represent, and whoever wins gets the first pick, and the second person gets the second pick, which is kind of cool. And then we got Big Daddy Lego, Mr. Ross, my Lego brother. Thanks for dropping by. Oh, one of your brothers up there. What's up?
Hey, TM.
Thanks for showing up, brother. And everybody else showing love to each other. Sweet. Thank you, Travis, showing that TM showing all that stuff there. The drops on them. Please follow them. Who else do we have? I think that's everybody who's saying hi.
I think I saw Comic Raider.
Oh, he just popped in right there. My bad. What's up, brother? You follow him also Friday nights, low grades. Make sure you follow them. And I think everybody's saying hi to everybody. Sweet.
Yeah, you know what? Black Crown ain't exactly wrong. The comment where he said that if I wasn't on your show, I probably would be playing Street Fighter. So he's not totally wrong. It is a Sunday afternoon, it's a lazy Sunday, so that probably would have been what I'd be doing if I wasn't on the show. So.
Hey, I'll be playing. I'm gonna play Mario Kart right now because we got a couple of Nintendo Switch heads. Been playing. At least try to play every week. So Street Fighter is gonna probably make me buy a PlayStation or an Xbox.
Well, okay. So the thing is, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Street Fighter is on PS4. I don't know if you own like a PS4. You don't need to necessarily get a next gen.
I don't have a PS4.
Okay.
The last one I have is an Xbox 360 R2D2 edition.
Okay. Yeah. So then you need to get, unless you have a PC, because it's also available on PC as well.
I'm horrible with. It just feels weird on a PC. I'm just gonna get a PlayStation.
I actually own Mario Kart, but I don't actually openly admit it because I'll get smoked in Mario Kart. Like I still have a hard time doing the drifting thing when you race. So
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near competitive in Mario Kart as I would be in Street Fighter.
Oh, dude, I'll play anything. I love doing it. We got Mike on there, so I can't wait to hopefully beat him next week on Phil's channel. But when we play Mario Kart, it's always fun.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, Chucks is back in there. Did he drop it? Well, if he does, we'll see what's up. All right. So we said hi to everybody. Let's just get to the geeking out, brother. And I'd love to see what's in your collection. And maybe it's comics or maybe different stuff. So I'm here. Shoot away or go ahead and let's just do it, brother.
Like I would say like the majority is comics, but then I threw in some non-comic stuff in there just
Perfect.
to kind of very. You know what? Just to kick it off, I'll just start off with what I picked up this week. Like my
that works. All right.
My new comic book that I picked. It's not. I'm gonna rifle through these because it's. So the thing is, those of you that follow me on the Kingpins channel, I mentioned how I used to have a pretty heavy pull list, and then just after my collection has been big and all that, I basically had to really fine-tune that pull list, and now I'm just focusing more on back issues. But these are all stuff from New Comic Book Day, and it's basically, if you're not a fan of TMNT or Street Fighter, then this segment might not be for you because that's mainly what these books are. So, you got your free comic book day.
There you go.
Some of these are still not in bag and board, so I still got in bag and board these.
Nice.
Some of these
I picked that up. I thought of you when I picked it up. The Street Fighter.
Yeah, it's like a 48-page like weekly thing. It's like for a 4-issue miniseries. So
nice.
And then they're actually bringing this back. It's like IDW is doing like the Saturday morning adventures, like where it's like because like IDW's current TMNT is more like mature young adults, so they're bringing back the cartoony style of Street Fighter. Not Street Fighter. TMNT, where it's more for all ages, and then they did a crossover, TMNT versus Street Fighter, basically two of my favorite franchises in one. So obviously I'm going to pick up this series.
Yeah, have you read that one yet or not yet?
Not yet. I'm probably going to be doing some reading tonight. Sundays is usually like in the evenings is usually when I do some of my reading.
Oh, okay. Thank you for taking your time then. Hanging out with me.
No, yeah. I usually do it Sunday evenings when basically I'm winding down and I'm about to go to bed and all that, and then I'll just pick up some issues that I'm gonna read for the night.
Nice.
This one, hopefully when I go to Fan Expo, hopefully there's an artist that I can get a commission for the sketch variant.
Nice.
And I'll actually tie into another item I got, so this kind of ties into that. Let's see. And then I do pick up some of the ratio variants. This was the 1 in 10.
Oh, that's cool. I like that
one.
Yeah.
And then this is the Virgin 1 in 25.
Sick.
And then there's also a Usagi Yojimbo TMNT crossover. So this is the 1 in 10 of issue 3.
Nice.
The 1 in 25, which is basically like a sketch variant of cover B. I'm not a big fan when they do sketch variants of an open order ratio. The only reason I picked it up is just so I can get to the 1 in 50, which is a connecting cover. So
I like that one.
If you get all 5 1 in 50s, it basically connects to one large image.
Oh, nice.
So, and I am kind of a sucker for connecting cover. Speaking of connecting cover, this is the 1 in 25 connecting cover for Street Fighter TMNT.
Oh, that one's sick.
Yeah. And then they're doing this versus thing where every 1 in 50 has like a Street Fighter character and a TMNT character. So in this case, this is Raphael versus Guile, the 1 in 50.
So I have to ask this question before you show me the next one. Just out of just to get to know you better. Your favorite turtle and your favorite Street Fighter character.
Okay, so the turtle is pretty easy. The favorite turtle is Donatello because I kind of feel like he's like the brains of the operation, and I kind of find that like he doesn't get as much love as let's say Raphael, Michelangelo, because Leonardo's like the leader. Raphael is like the hothead that people like, and Michelangelo is like the cool party guy, and Donatello feels like the odd stepchild in the 4 turtle group. So I tend to like him because he's a bit of like not the outcast, but he's usually not the most talked about our favorite turtle among people's like top
Under the
turtles.
radar one. I like.
Exactly, but I
Yes,
do like
I
the
like
fact
that.
that he's like the brains of the operation also.
Yes.
And now this is an open order, but honestly, I think this should have been a ratio. I'm glad it wasn't.
Oh yeah.
This one's a cover. What is it? Cover B. Freddie Williams always kills it when it comes to TMNT cover art. So this one he did it with Ryu and Leonardo, the two, I guess you could call it de facto leaders of the franchise.
Yeah, that's sick.
There is a one. So the 1 in 100 is basically the sketch variant, and just their color headbands are colored. I'm debating about getting that, but it is a 1 in 100, so I'm probably gonna wait until I find that on sale or something.
Yeah, that's what I waited for on my Disney 100 one. I wait for it to drop. So
I think I saw your post.
He's gonna pop on and off from time to time because he's gonna grab some stuff. So we didn't lose him just in case.
Yeah, because I was so just as a background, I was telling JD backstage that like I had to kind of turn my room upside down to kind of find some of the stuff to kind of pull. So that's why I'm strategically kind of placing myself in the camera so you don't actually see some of the mess back there. So if I lean in to grab stuff, you're gonna probably see my camera shut off.
And yeah, they're saying that that's the killer cover right there. Yeah, hands down for sure.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that wasn't the ratio. And that was an open order, but I'm glad it was. I actually might grab a second copy now that I think of it. But hold on. I'm going to get batch number 2.
You can do a wardrobe change.
Yeah. Like Houdini.
I love it when brothers bust each other chops. That's the best thing. So go for it.
I mentioned to you before about how, like, before comics, gaming was kind of like one of my like pastimes. Mm-hmm. So, and we were talking about before in backstage about how sometimes it's not so much the actual value of an item, but the stories behind it. And then like you kind of remember, like when you grab an item, you kind of remember stuff, and that's usually the kind of stuff that I end up keeping. There's stuff that I end up selling from my collection because they end up just meaning nothing more than just the value of it, but there's no sentiment behind it. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but the SNES Mini.
Oh, yeah.
So this was like back when this was like I think 2017 or 2018.
Yeah.
Nintendo released like basically like a mini SNES console preloaded with all the games, and of course one of them being, where is it? Oh yeah, they put it all the way in there's Hyper Street Fighter. Yeah. So that's what. So I actually remember the reason this I remember this fondly is this was very much in limited supply, and I know that a lot of shops already had it sold out on pre-order. And I remember Toys R Us had a Twitter account.
Oh,
well, you don't know that, TM. I might just be wearing this is the Monday shirt, and then the Sunday shirt is just like a different. It's the same color. But I remember Toys R Us had a Twitter account, and they basically dropped the news that across Canada they had a drop of about, I think, 20 or 30. 50 units of these in certain locations across Canada. And then one of those locations was almost like, I would say 15 minutes from my house, but they were only dropping it Saturday morning. And Saturday mornings is usually the day I sleep in, but I actually remember waking up and I actually waited in line, I think it was like at 7 a.m. or something. And then it was just me and like 10 other people maybe waiting in line. And it was November. It wasn't exactly the most warmest day to be waiting in line for this. But here's the thing though, they didn't actually have it in stock. They only gave us tickets.
What?
So here's the thing, they gave us tickets, but it was like on a first come first serve. So because I was among like the first 10 or so, I was guaranteed one. It's just that I'll only get it once they eventually got it in stock. So they did actually get it in stock.
Oh, okay.
So then I ended up picking it up. So
nice.
And I know I recently went to a Toy Con recently, and this was selling for like triple or like quadruple what I paid for. But not that I'm selling it, but it's just I do remember that morning when I woke up, waited in line, got it, and then and then obviously the first thing I was playing on this was Hyper Street Fighter. Even though I owned the game, okay, let's play it on the SNES because I never actually owned an SNES as a kid. I actually was a Sega Genesis.
Sega.
Yeah, I had a choice between Nintendo or Street Fighter, or Sega. So I chose Sega just because I they marketed it as being the faster console, with Sonic the Hedgehog and all that. So I went with Sega. So
Yeah, it
so
did
yeah.
actually. It did have a faster engine because the games were faster. And I didn't have a Nintendo. I didn't have a Super Nintendo. My first Nintendo buy was the GameCube.
Oh,
So,
okay.
like, I did buy one of those, but I did buy the Nintendo original mod one where it has all those games already inside. I actually have that in the living room.
Yeah, I had an SNES, and unfortunately I don't have it anymore because I think my parents chucked it out when I moved out home because they thought that it's an old
Oh,
console. Their logic was it's an old console.
yeah.
He like this was during the time when I had a PS3, so they figured why does he need this? So I think they ended up actually dumping it. So
Oh,
I no longer have a Sega Genesis or my NES. So at one point I will have to get that in the used market just to kind of fill back my childhood.
that's why I bought this.
Yeah, I gotta get back on that. But yeah, it's like I said, gaming. I don't think it's one of those things that'll ever die. Like it'll probably be one of those things. Like I don't play as much as I used to. Obviously, when I was back in school and all that, because I don't have as much time as before. But I don't think it's something that'll ever leave me.
Yeah.
There'll always be a part of me that'll
Heck
be a
yeah.
gamer.
Hey, I still love playing games, and that I love that story because it tells me how much you love that game. And
Mhm.
little FYI, I actually have in my garage a Street Fighter machine.
Yeah, and Evil Comics, I will kind of debate you on that one. Like, I don't know about the Super, but when it came to Street Fighter 2, Genesis had the Hyper Fighting Edition, which is considered the more balanced Street Fighter. SNES had Street Fighter Turbo. So, in terms of that version, I would say Genesis was better. But in terms of Super Street Fighter, that one, I'm not too sure. But
Oh, nice.
just my 2 cents on that. And
Oh, Turbo Graphics. I remember that.
yeah. These comments are bringing me back to yesteryear now.
Dang, we got game knowledge here. It's a wireless one. I need to get that. First ever wireless. Need it because I broke my leg this summer and launched it. Dang.
Damn. Okay.
All right. That's cool, dude. I love that story.
That's one way to get some game time in.
Yes.
But they dropped 5 years after. Okay, I'm assuming he's talking about the Street Fighter.
Yeah,
Or
I'm
is he
thinking
talking
also.
about the console?
Yeah. Mike, was that
But
the console or the game or the wireless controller? That's cool.
I'm not sure. Because I know that well, the console itself, the consoles only came out, like, I think in 91 or 92, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the 16-bit consoles, I think, because I believe it came out in 91 or 92. I could be wrong. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
he was talking about the game.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. I know, and they're dropping TurboGrafx 16. That's my brother's console. He picked that up, and I love playing that system. It had like bonks. The Final Lap was great. What else did it have? There's a game called Notopia, which was like Zelda, and that took me weeks to play, and I enjoyed that game a lot. That's pretty bad.
I don't know if he had this, but like back when I had an NES, my uncle and my dad, they found a cartridge that had like 100 games installed, and like some of the more popular ones, and then it actually had a built-in Game Genie kind of situation where you could kind of set the number of lives you want and and what level you want to be in. It was almost like a broken version of some of these games. It almost felt like something that was like in the black market that was distributed that ended up. So I got like 100 games, and some of them were like the popular ones, like Mario and that Kung Fu Fighter on NES. I can't remember what it was called. There was like a Karate Fighter game and a Kung Fu Fighter where it's like a side-scrolling game. I saw Bird City made an homage to the Karate Fighter.
Was it the Kung Fu? It's just called Kung Fu.
Well, there is a game called Kung Fu something, but then there's another one just called Karate or Karate Fighter, where it's like a dude basically, like the storyline is very paper thin. His girl gets kidnapped, and you have to go around basically mashing up.
It's Tamajin, freaking Bruce Lee's movie.
Yeah.
I love that game. Oh man, I'll play it all the time. I think it's not. It's called Kung Fu. if I'm not
Is it
mistaken.
called
Correct
Kung
me
Fu?
if I'm wrong, guys. Yeah. But BCC has a question. What's
What's
your
my
favorite
favorite
Street Fighter
Street
game
Fighter?
of all
Oh
time?
gosh.
Go.
The thing is, as much as these games have evolved, and there are a lot more. There's a lot more features. It's I'm very much a throwback when it comes to this. I like what is it? And this is purely from nostalgia. It's Street Fighter 2 Hyper Edition, and apropos to
Okay.
my name, Hyper Combo Comics.
There you go.
So that's
Mike-
that's on a nostalgia trip, and that's actually one of my first Street Fighter games that I owned as a kid. So
Nice.
that's probably it holds a place in my heart as my favorite, even though there's probably other versions out there that are better than that.
I'm gonna go old school and classic, and just go with Street Fighter 2 Special Edition. That's
Okay.
when you were able to play freaking dude. I just went blank. When you get to play all the villains for the first time.
Yeah. So that's when it was like Champion Edition, or
Yes, that's I'll pick that one. Mike
Dude,
likes
I
Alpha 3.
remember
Rob, what's
in
up,
the
brother?
arcade, like the arcade versions were not the same as the console, because the arcade versions, the computer played cheap. Like
Yeah.
it was designed for you to lose your quarters. Like you basically get like a few hit combo, and then the computer will kill you, and like one Dragon Punch almost takes out like a third of your life meter, which is not the case when you play on console, because you see it in arcade, you try to mimic it in the console, and you're like, wait,
Yeah.
I'm not getting as much damage as the computer is. Because I don't know if you're aware of this, but like those arcade machines, you could actually set the level of difficulty, and like the owner of the machine he could set the level of the difficulty and certain like parameters, so that basically it almost it's designed for you to eat up your quarters, and for you to feel like you got to put in more, thinking that you're going to be able to beat the computer.
Yes, I totally agree, because I used to go to a 7-Eleven to play that game, and one day the guy pulled it, and I seen him change it. And I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he actually told me. I was like, "All right." So I found it as a competitive. The competition inside me wanted to do it. But I got whipped every time.
That's the thing. Like people get this misconception that that's how it is. Like it's just that the owner just was an ass, and he just turned up the difficulty. That's what he did.
Yeah, I totally agree. Man, the chat is popping. Fanboy, what's up? Flex Comics, hi. Trev, what's up? Y'all jumped in to say hi and join and check you out. They see your stuff.
What's up?
You have a great day, TM. Thanks for
Travis.
jumping in. And did we get everybody? Just any more questions? Everybody's saying hi to everybody again. Cool. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to play it, dude. It's crazy. All right. Let's continue.
I'm a 90s kid in terms. I was born in the 80s, but I'm more of a 90s kid when it comes to like shows and stuff that I remember. So one of my favorite animated series was Batman the Animated. I would say, to me, my top two, I guess we'll call it top three. It's the TMNT cartoon, X-Men the Animated Series, and Batman the Animated Series. Those are my top three animated series. I'm not going to rank them because it's hard for me to rank those three in order.
Okay.
I guess I could put Batman maybe at the top just because it generally had a better storytelling that stands the test of time. Some of the stuff from TMNT, it is kind of hard to watch as an adult, like the storylines, but it is what it is. But I did pick up, so I don't know, I think this was actually prior to COVID, Amazon released this limited edition box set of Batman the Animated Series. It's a complete Blu-ray. But here's the thing, they shipped it all wonky that I ended up dinging the box and everything. But it is actually numbered. It is limited to 69.
Oh, nice. That's 69,048.
Yeah.
That's badass.
They included some stuff like Funkos and like art cards and all that, but it was just a cool box set just for. And actually, now they just released it on Netflix the series in Canada. I don't know about the US, but in Canada, you could actually watch the series on Netflix.
Nice. I actually bought the digital copy for the Apple.
Okay.
Yeah, I love watching that one, especially the Bane one.
The Bane one, actually, yeah. Cause some of these episodes I actually like. Some of the more memorable ones I remember is like the Two-Face one, the
Yep.
Mr. Freeze one. Like I think the Mr. Freeze one, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it actually won an Emmy award actually,
Yeah, I
or
think it
it
did.
actually. Yeah, I think it was one of the episodes that ended up winning it an Emmy award, which is not often the case with some of these animated shows. So it shows how good of a storytelling it was. So
Yeah, dude. I wish I would have seen that box set. That's a sick box set.
yeah, I just wish Amazon would have packed it better.
Yeah.
So we're talking about varying interests. So little known fact is I'm also a pro wrestling fan. Not as much as I was when I was a kid. I still watch the product here and there, but when I was younger, I was a lot more into the stuff, to the point that I actually thought it was real at one point. Again, this was
Yeah,
back when I
same
was a
here.
kid. This was when I was
Same
a
here.
kid, like when I was a kid. All right, so yeah, and so I actually picked this. Actually, I picked this up
Yep.
from my bookshelf. We have Fan Expo in Canada, and this was probably 8 years ago in 2015. Booker T actually was attending the Fan Expo, so I actually bought his book. From
Oh, five
prison.
time there.
Yeah,
Five
this is
times.
actually it's a pretty cool read. Basically, it talks about his life when he was, because some people don't know, he actually spent time behind bars and all that, so he kind of goes through his journey. Um, yeah. Wait, did someone mention library? No, okay, that was just my card.
No,
That was
they're
just my
going
tag. Sorry,
pro
I was
wrestling.
reading.
Let's go.
So I actually met him. I actually got him to
Oh,
sign
nice.
my book, and I actually got. Hold on. Again, you could tell how much younger I look, but this is me with Booker
There's
T.
the five.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's you're not gonna see
Oh,
that
Trent
picture
hated
often.
Booker. I like Booker. He was funny.
Wait, someone hated Booker?
Yeah.
Why? Trev, why?
Oh,
I don't understand. Most people like Booker. There
yeah.
must be a reason why you hated Booker T.
Come on. That's Harlem Heat right there, dude. See, like I used to watch wrestling, but old school wrestling, like the British Bulldogs, Hulk Hogan,
Yeah, I remember those
Iron
times.
Sheik, rest in peace. He just passed away.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's my era where my brother introduced me, where it used to cost $10 to go watch them at the LA Sports Arena, and
Yeah.
I would watch them live, and that's me. So when people bring wrestling, that's my childhood, and then I stopped watching it, and then my buddy got me back into it on the I guess you say the Raw beginnings.
Okay.
So Stone Cold started, so
The
I
Attitude
basically
Era.
saw
Yeah.
him, Austin 316 means I just
Yeah,
whip
yeah,
your
yeah.
ass. That's
Those were
when
the
I
fun
started
times.
watching it. Yeah. Now
Yeah, and I think
I'll watch it from time to time. Yeah, so it's
I think
cool.
actually that was during the time when the NWO was doing their thing in WCW. They were kind of,
Yes.
it was like during the Monday Night Wars. That was
Yes.
actually during the fun time in wrestling, when it was two companies and they were basically competing against each other.
Yeah. That's
So it's
totally true. I got to meet Booker T a lot in Houston. Oh, nice. Mike.
you said you pay like what, $10 you said to watch an event?
Oh,
What happened? Oh,
he ran in a mayor of Houston at one point. Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
oh, really?
Oh, that's cool.
I had no idea.
Top 25 talent. Yeah. Bearing what Benoit did at the end of his life, I'll say it. He was my favorite wrestler.
Yeah, dude, listen, that situation was a gut punch because as a Canadian, there's not that many famous Canadian wrestlers out there.
Yeah.
So then Benoit at the time, he was from actually Edmonton. So he was actually one of my top wrestlers at the time. So when I heard that news, I was like, that can't be right. Like I remember actually following the news and the website on WWE.com when they were unraveling, because that was a pretty dark time in wrestling.
Yeah, and I loved him from the beginning when he started his career, and then when I found out he came from the Dungeons.
Yeah, the dungeon.
I
Yeah.
loved him even more. But when I heard that, I was like, yeah, that same feeling. Not because he's a Canadian, but he was my favorite wrestler, and
Yeah.
I had to get rid of his figures. I was like, I couldn't look at them, but I still, I his professional career still my favorite. But,
yeah, the thing is, but what's funny to me is there are people actually lobbying that he should be in the Hall of Fame. It's like, dude, look, as much as he was a talent in the ring, you can't discount the last 24 hours of what happened. That's just something that'll unfortunately that's going to be his legacy going forward. And so if I was to make a prediction, I don't think he'll ever be able to go in, because that's just something you can never kind of, erase from history. Unfortunately.
Let's go WWE question here. It just popped in my head. Your favorite title and what version, if there's one that you like better than, say, the coexisting one right now?
Oh, dude, that's an easy one. The Winged Eagle.
Oh, I even love you more.
The Winged Eagle back from, because you know why? Because that was also during the time when the Hitman was actually the champ, and he was like I would say like my all-time favorite wrestler would be Bret Hart. Bret Hart is my all-time favorite.
All right, so, no argument with him.
The Winged Eagle, I know Hogan held it, but I just remember Hart being the one to kind of hold it when I was like really watching it at the time.
And that time is my favorite version of that belt because it still said world heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Later on, they removed it, and I did not like that. I go,
dude, have you seen the current belts recently? It's become more of like a marketing. It looks more like a marketing tool because the thing is, you know what it is like when Super Bowl teams win championship rings, WWE sends these belts out, so they want their logo plastered on it, and it looks hideous, to be honest. I kind of wish they went back to the old ways where it was more classic.
And Marcus, no, I did see your comments.
What was the troll comment? I actually missed it.
Oh, he put this one. Marcus, I never ignore you.
Oh yeah. That's Well, you know what? It made for a classic. It made for a classic clip, and honestly, everything about that was funny from the time that he. Not okay. Listen, I don't want to get canceled, but it was funny in a sense of his reaction after he said it. You could tell that he realized he effed up. Yeah. And then even like Sherry, rest in peace. Sherry even was shaking her head like, "You idiot, what did you do?" It's like everyone involved kind of knew what just happened, and then that was just a funny slip up on Booker's part. But
and everybody agrees
I'm not condoning
right now.
saying it. I'm just saying like the aftermath of it was pretty funny. That's what I'm saying.
Trev's top 3, Bret Hart, and everybody loves the Winged title.
Yeah, you can't beat the classic wing. You know what? Even though it's a rival company, I did like the Big Gold from WCW.
I like the United States title.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. But that heavyweight title from WCW did have like a very It felt like also not just a wrestling title. It felt like a title that you could probably see on like boxing or UFC kind of situation.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it was their best title, and I do love the way it looks. So kudos to that comment. Yes, I totally agree. All right. Everybody's jumping on that wrestling talk.
Dark Horse picked the White Strap Intercontinental title. Is
okay. All right.
That just because I remember Razor Ramon wearing that, and a couple of my favorites wearing that title.
That's a great title too. I missed that belt. I don't like the new one. I was going in and out of the last couple of weeks, and I don't like any of the titles. The United States title looks okay, but as far as the world heavyweight championship and the WWE championship,
it's
horrible.
It's not what it used to be. It's not what it used to be. Because the thing is, there's nothing that really distinguishes any of them. They all look the same at this point.
Yeah, there you go, Marcus. You got your info there. All right, brother. Let's go on. I know you have something to show.
Yeah. So this was
yes.
No, but there's an actual story behind this.
Okay, all right.
And I'm covering half of this comic for a reason. So so the thing is, I was off of comics for a while, then I got back into comics in 2018, and then I went to like one of my first cons in a while, which was Fan Expo Canada. And yeah, do you know the artist Humberto Ramos?
Yes.
Yeah, so he drew this. He was the artist on this series, and this obviously is the first appearance of Silk.
Yeah.
So he was there doing a signing. So I went to his booth to get it signed. And again, I'm fresh back in the hobby, and and I don't really know much. So basically, I had him not only sign his name, but basically personalize it to me.
Nice.
So now basically, if I was to ever sell this or put this to CGC, like this is rendered useless because unless I find another dude named Heinz, there's no way I'm going to be able to actually get rid of this copy. So this is mine forever at this point by no choice.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's just a story behind it about how I should have known better than to just have it personalized. I mean,
but you did love it for him from drawing it, and you got it signed because you enjoyed it, which is I think is a better story.
It's just a funny thing that I remember. I'm like, oh wait, what did and then I think the realization just came after the fact. I'm like, oh shoot, what did I just do? I know Mike's asking what's wrong with that. I guess so here's the thing, because I it wasn't a cheap book that I spent it on, and I guess to have it personalized, I guess my thought is to have something personalized. I don't know. It kind of, I would have preferred just the artist's name. In hindsight,
That's
no, I didn't pay cover price. I didn't pay cover price. Okay. Full disclosure, I think I paid $40, which is still cheap at the time.
Yeah.
But again, when you're back in the hobby and you're just starting out, $40 at the time seemed like a lot for a comic. Although nowadays $40 for some of these books is a bargain.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a PC book, so it's just the story behind it.
That's cool.
It's just funny.
That's why I turned into getting autographs on the Captain America shield. So I don't have anything like that because I have a horror story, which I've told before, where Frank Miller flopped my Dark Knight #1.
He what?
Like he was flopping it around, like just going like this.
Oh, to dry out the ink, you mean?
Yeah, no, bending my book. He was talking.
Oh, I thought he was signing it and then he was doing this.
He signed it, and he's like, "Oh, do you remember?" Hey, Chris Claremont was next to him, and he's like, "Oh, do you remember this book?" And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And I had it cracked because it was back when I came back. I got it graded, and then I wanted to get it signed because I go, "Dude, I never seen Frank Miller before." I went to a comic shop. He was there with Chris Claremont, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm gonna get this signed." This is when I got into it. I don't know about CGCs and stuff. Like now, I like them raw, or if I buy them CGC, I just leave them like that.
Okay.
I wanted his autograph because I love that story, and
he's not cheap either.
No, I bought it graded because I had one, but it was trashed because I read it, and I went up to him. I was like, "Big fan. I appreciate you. Just have your autograph." And I'm a dork when I talk to artists. I'm just like a kid. And I gave it to him, and he just started showing Claire Slime. He's like, "Hey, did you see? Do you remember this one?" I was like, "Oh, Mo, what are you doing?" And it went from a 9.6 to a 9.2.
Oh, for like literally, it went from a 9.2.
Yeah, because I go.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so that's my Frank Miller story. But enough about me.
Dude, that's heartbreaking. Honestly, that's heartbreaking. So sticking with how I just got back into the hobby. I actually remember the first eBay purchase I ever made, comic-wise. Yeah. So I'll preface this by saying this. I'm more of an anti-hero type of guy when it comes to favorite characters, like in comics and all that. So like my top 3 Marvel characters, I would say, if I were to rank them, would be Wolverine, Venom, and Punisher. Reason being, they all have a bit of that anti-hero edge to them. So I like them for that reason. So actually, I remember the first eBay purchase. It was an auction, actually. It was a raw copy of ASM 300. This was back in 2018. And I remember at the time I was second guessing this purchase because I kind of paid, like, again, back in the hobby, right? So I'm not used to spending like triple digits on a book. So this is the first time I ever spent that much on a comic. So at the time I was kind of regretting it, but seeing where this book is now, I'm kind of glad I pulled the trigger when I did like 5 years ago. You just never know in these kind of situations. But I'm kind of glad I got this copy. Again, PC book, just glad to have it. Before things all start blowing up.
That's a great book.
And okay, so I'm just gonna run through some of these stuff. Like we were talking backstage, and I told you how I'm a bit of a hunter, because like my philosophy is it's anyone can, with a credit card can buy any book they want. But I think the story behind it is if you can find it like in those back bins, or if you find it like unconventionally, and have and not pay an arm and a leg like you would in the market. So I remember I went to a hobby shop. It's like one of those shops that basically sells cards, comics, video games, and all that. And I was actually looking for this book all the time, but this was either more than what I wanted to pay for, or the condition never met my expectation. It was the first cover, or the first full cover appearance of Venom.
Nice.
The dude basically only asked for, and this one I think would grade high 9. He asked for 100 because, again, this guy is not an LCS owner. He only charged a low amount of 100 because there were some creases, but the thing is, those creases were actually pressable, and it doesn't break color. So because of that, I was able to get a pretty good price on this. And again, this was a book that I was hunting, and I was able to put this in the PC.
Classic McFarlane. Love that one.
Yeah. Let's see. Sticking back to video games, there's been a big blow up with video games and video game comics. So
yes.
I do tend to hunt for these because they tend to be also a lot more. And this one I
think you froze, Hyper.
I think. Am I good right now?
Okay, you're good now. All right.
Okay, perfect. At the price that the LCS was charging for, I had to pick this up.
Oh.
And I don't know if you noticed, this is the no price variant, which is actually the rarer, version of, because there's like a no price variant, and then there's a one with the price, and then there's a second print version.
Yeah, claim.
So the no price variant is actually the scarcer of the 3 copies.
That's sick.
Yeah, happy to add that to the PC. And let's see.
Oh yeah, they're loving that one.
So sticking with Venom, I was actually this is why it sometimes pays to be in late night auctions sometimes, and especially in auctions where people are selling comics in a show that's not dedicated to comics. So I went to a channel that's basically, it's mainly a gaming channel, but they also put up comics here and there. So the audience 80% of the time are there for games. They're not there for comics. And then there's a few that know what comics are being brought up. He had a Walking Dead night, and then he ran out all of his Walking Dead comics, and then he started posting other books because he had time to kill. I couldn't believe I actually only spent $10 for this book, because there's only one guy competing with me, and he folded after $10.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
This I was I literally, after I won, I'm like, okay, did I actually win this? Or like, I was actually thinking that the seller's gonna cancel. But no, he came through, and I ended up, and this is actually a very clean minty copy.
Nice.
So I was surprised that I actually scored this for 10. This is actually probably, as a Venom fan, this is probably one of my favorite Scott Young covers, I would say.
Yeah.
So
dang, nice steal.
That's I couldn't believe it.
You got a mind blown right there. Great cover, yes. $10. When you can get stuff like that, and when you find it in a while, that's like the best thing. Your hairs go up. That's like the best feeling. I love when I do that.
Because I mean, for those that don't know, like this on the regular sells for about like 150 to 200.
Yeah.
Raw. So it's just to put things in context. So yeah, $10. I was like, yeah, yes, please. Okay, and you remember the COVID boom, right? Like when, well, actually pre-COVID boom. Remember when books were starting to sell cheap at first because shops were closing, and then they had a lot of deals and all that. So one year there was no Montreal Comic Con, and basically because of the COVID and all that, they couldn't have any conventions. So what they did was they did an online, an online comic sale, where basically all the wall books were 25% off.
Oh, nice.
And I was at work and I logged in from work because I knew at what time. So I didn't want some of the books I wanted to get already sold out, but I ended up snagging this in 2020.
Oh, nice
Yeah.
pickup.
It now it is the centerfold is detached on one staple, but for the price I paid, it's still a really, really good buy, and it's a pretty.
It presents.
I would say it's maybe
lovely.
like a 4 or 5.
Nice.
Yeah. Again, this was back when shops were trying to get rid of stuff, and before 2021, when the prices started surging.
That's how I got a lot of my X-Men books.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, comic dude?
What's up, dude?
So this was actually on my wish. Okay, so I'll explain this book. So
I remember this.
You remember the story, right?
Yeah.
So actually, it's funny. Comic Dude is part of the story. So
yes.
The reason why I needed this book in the collection is because when I met Comic Dude for the first time, we went to one of his local shops, and they actually had this book on the wall. And then I asked the guy how much did he want for it, and he said, I think he said 55. I'm like, 55. And then me and dude looked at each other, and he's like, dude, this is your territory. I don't want to encroach on it. Well, dude said, like, you got there first. So he said, listen, if you don't take it, I will. I'm like, okay, you know what? And then I actually asked him several times, like, so it's 55, to the point that he kind of got annoyed. Because I'm like, this can't be 55. So he's like, yeah, 55. I'm like, okay, all right. If it's 55, fine, we can do it for 55. So then I asked him, can I look at the book? Because it seemed too good to be true.
Yeah.
The book looked pretty clean and all that. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's go to the cash. And then that's when he said it's like 5,500. Like he didn't mention the 100 part. He just said 55. So I'm like thinking it's like $55. So it's actually 5,500. So I'm like, you know what? I'll pass, because clearly I wasn't mentally prepared for 5,500. I was thinking 55. So at that point, I told myself, okay, because of that crappy situation, I have to make it a point to add this to the PC. So it's only because of that incident that I ended up pushing myself to find this. And I found this at another antique shop. And the dude had it at a price at one point. It was detached at one cover, the staple. So I said, nah, it's too rich for me. And then he lowered it again. And then before I left, he lowered it third time. He said, final offer. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll take it. He gave me the price that I wanted it for. So nice. I ended up adding it to the PC.
Yep.
So, but I just remember that.
I love that story.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where I'm like this is gonna be one of those things that I can't wait to share about this with the community, like how I got this for 55. And yeah, it never materialized.
Oh, that was a good one. Yes. Dude's happy you finally got one. Me too.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't rest until I had one. Now, being a TMNT fan, I had to pick this up, and this is actually the Canadian price for it. You can tell by the $1.25. So
that's one of my favorite covers.
Yeah, I actually have the other one also, the one featuring First Bebop and Rocksteady. I have that one as well as the Canadian price in a slab. I didn't get it out though. Okay, this I'm gonna say to this point, I would say I'm not gonna I'll toot my horn a bit, because this actually made me a bit infamous at a certain shop locally, to the point that I'm known as the guy that got this book. Like it's actually gone to that level. Basically, this shop had a $3 bin section, and they recently, I guess, came across a collection, and they had this book in there. Now, for those of you in the know, you'll know what I mean when I scored it for $3. This is criminally underpriced. This, if you know, you know, and you know what? If you don't know, I'll fill you in. And not like because there's two versions of this. There's a Mexican, I think there's like a La Mole or a Mexican version, and then there is this version. You have to be careful when you look up the values online, because the Mexican version has the same exact cover and all that. But the regular, this is like a 1 in 10 Adam Hughes. The regular version of this, a 9.6 alone is over $1,000.
Yep.
This I like, and the thing is, when I got this for $3, I actually went to because I kind of knew the shop owner, right? So I said, you know how much this is worth, right? And then I don't know why I did it. I just, it was probably, I was like, maybe I shouldn't have opened my mouth. But then he's like, you won. Like he basically he kind of gave it up to me. And actually, what ended up happening was he actually almost did like a judo thing where he actually used this little find as a marketing tool for his shop, saying, "See, we don't reprice our books like other shops." And he basically used my story as an example.
That's a killer find, brother.
Yeah, that to this day, I don't think I've ever found a steal that big. And oddly enough, it's a modern book.
Those
let's see.
When you find those, it's like you try to hold your excitement, and when you're paying, you kind of shake.
Dude, I was literally like I'm like, okay, like I like, the thing is, this, if I didn't get here soon enough, this actually would have went up on his Facebook live auction or his Facebook live sale. So I was this close to losing this the only reason I got this was because this shop is literally like a block away from my workplace. So I went during my lunch hour.
Nice.
So yeah, you wouldn't believe how the rest of my day at work went. I'm like, I go to my coworkers don't know nothing about comics. I'm like, oh yo, I found this book that was like worth $1,000, and then I show them this. They're like, they don't know the concept. Then I have to pull up eBay to let them know. I was like, oh, okay. It's like, to them, like, they have no idea like what the hell, why I'm so happy about finding this.
Yeah, but Fanboy is correct. You have a customer for life now because they don't do that.
Yeah. It's funny because I went to another shop in the same area, and then that shop was pretty blunt with me. I told him the same story, and he's like, if I was that shop, I probably would have repriced it. I know, and they're actually criticizing the shop for not pricing it. It's like, dude, it's like,
hey, here's your inventory. That's your fault.
Okay, yeah. Side tangent. This is my theory. Like, if you're in the business of selling comics, I would think that you should be like up to date in terms of your know-how. Maybe not. There are going to be books that are going to slip through your radar, but then there are certain books. Like, look, when I showed this, there's people in the chat that knew what this book was. It wasn't like some obscure book that nobody knew what it was. So, as a shop owner, it's almost like your knowledge level almost has to supersede just the regular customer, I would think.
Yep. I
so
totally agree.
If you don't price it, listen, it's on you.
Yeah.
And at that
comic
point,
shop should know. Yeah.
Yeah, and at that point, if you try to pull the switcheroo and you try to price it at the cash, well, you're just adding a bit of negative will to your brand at that point. So, it's on the onus of the shop owner. I know some people feel differently. Some people feel like, oh, like we don't have time to reprice everything. Well, then don't put all your inventory. Like, I've seen shops where they have short boxes at the bottom, and they specifically tell me these are for repricing, so don't look through these.
Yeah,
cool.
That's what you're supposed to say.
But
once it's your collection, you verify it first before you put it out.
Yeah, but once it's out in the wild, it's fair game. It's fair game.
The only time I tell them what you did is I went to a yard sale, and this lady had dollar bins, and then she had stuff she priced. So only because she told me she didn't know the knowledge of the comic, I gave her the heads up, and I said, I have two $300 books in here that I found in your dollar bin. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt because your dad was a comic lover. And she said, no, you found them. They're yours. I go, no, they're two $300 books. I go, I want to be honest because you spoke to me like a person. I know you don't have the knowledge like I do. And I've been looking for these books since I was a kid. And I'm just giving you the last chance. Do you want to keep them and reprice them? Or do you want to give me a deal on them? She's like, no, you found them.
See, that's a different situation because, again, it goes back to the actual individual selling it. You're talking about a lady who, like you said, didn't have the know-how and basically is just selling things just that someone else probably had knowledge of, like her husband. A similar situation actually happened to me where I respond to an ad, like a local ad, where a guy was wanted to sell a book, and then we talked, and he actually told me he had some stuff he wanted to get rid of from his box. He was an old man that used to collect with his son back in the day. He had no idea of the knowledge of like the value of comics currently. So I went through his box. I ended up picking up I actually picked up almost like a long box. Actually, I did pick up a long box, and it had first appearance of Deadpool, Carnage, and all that. And I actually fully disclosed to him, like, look, dude, this is his first appearance at Deadpool. And his reaction was indifferent. He was like, man. Like, at that point, listen, I did my part. I told you, like, you have some gems in here. It wasn't a case where I pretended like he had, like, dollar bin fodder, and then I just kind of bounced. I did, like, he was an old man. I'm not going to take advantage of people like that. I told him, like, look, you have these things. So I gave him the onus to kind of like figure out how he wants to price it and all that. But he really didn't seem to care. So I said, all right, cool.
Yep. No. I like this. See, if I was a shop owner, just what Marcus said, I would do the same. I would hide some books, $30 books once in a while. Maybe an anniversary day for the shop opening. I throw a $100 book, maybe a $150 book in there. I wouldn't mind doing that.
I know a couple of shops and retailers that do that, and honestly, that goes a long way because I've been to several shops where I'm literally going through back bins, and it's just, how do I say it? It's just dreck, and it's just a lot of. You almost feel defeated after hunting through these. This was like a waste of 30 minutes. It is nice to know that sometimes like you go to certain shops. I'm not saying like to pull the wool over their eyes or something, but some shops generally have an overflow of inventory and they just want to get rid of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it is nice to find those gems. It does, as a customer, you do get that spark and like, oh, cool, I found something.
Yep.
Maybe I'll come back later for round 2. But when you go to a shop and you just find like Turok number 1s and all that in their back bins, and it's just a lot of like quote unquote fillers, it's almost like, ugh. Well, this was a Saturday afternoon I can't take back. So,
I agree.
So look, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but somehow these ended up in my PC somehow. First appearance of Afro.
Nice.
And this one, this is before it blew up. I actually picked up.
Oh, Thrawn.
So I have a story behind this as well.
All right.
So a former coworker of mine, he's into antiquing, and he brought me a bunch of Star Wars books. And again, I wasn't into Star Wars at the time, and this is before Thrawn blew up. Bobby. He asked me like if I want to grab these books. He had the first appearance of Thrawn, and I passed on it. I'm like, this means nothing. And again, so this is one of those books I had to add in the like. I have these situations where when I pass on something that I shouldn't have, I now make it a mission to basically add it to the PC. So this one eventually ended up finding its way back into the PC at a good price.
Nice. So. Everybody enjoying your Afra book there?
Hold up, camera turning off time. Give me a second.
Okay. Dude, I love those Star Wars. But I think when you find that book in the wild, I think that's my favorite part because it gives you that hunt. Like you're going for something, you find it. Bottom of the Collect, what's up?
Yeah, so not a while back, like
thanks for stopping
a few
by.
months ago. Like I told you, I was into TMNT, right? That's one of my favorite franchises. Now the thing is, I know that you told me that you collect figures. I try not to go down that rabbit hole because I already have like funds tied up in comics and all that. But
yes.
I had no choice but to pick these up because one of the first movies I remember watching as a kid in theaters was actually the first TMNT live action movie, which I still think, which I think still holds up to the test of time. Not so much Turtles in Time, maybe, or Secret of the Use, but the first TMNT I still think is one of my favorite TMNT movies.
Okay.
So I did end up actually picking up all the NECA figures.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Leonardo.
I like the detail on those.
Yes, and for the oops. Okay, his cricket bat just fell. Look, I'll have to pick that up after. Casey Jones.
Drag, what's up?
Okay, hopefully I didn't break the bat. No, the bat's safe. Let's see. I guess my favorite. Tello.
Nice Casey Jones, bottom tier.
I had to pick. Did I freeze again?
Yeah, you were freezing up about a second there. Okay, there we go. You're back.
Angelo.
There you go.
All 4 turtles. And then I did pick up. Now I'm only kind of pissed off I didn't pick up more foot soldiers because I just have 1 foot soldier. So at some point I have to pick up more foot soldiers just because it's kind of weird for Shredder to just have 1 lone foot soldier. It's like, oh, what kind of operation is he running with just 1 lone foot soldier? Speaking of which, I like the details on this one. This is actually probably one of my more favorite.
Oh, yeah.
the shiny shred, and you can actually remove the mask. I'm not going to attempt to do it now, but you could actually remove that
Oh,
mask.
nice.
So,
oh man, these look like NECA. Yes, they are. Good.
yeah, they are
Oh,
NECA figures.
yeah.
So this one's kind of funny. So the Master Splinter, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you can tell, but he has like a chunk of his ear missing. I'm like, oh no, I dropped this at some point and maybe the chunk of the ear fell off. Turns out that that's actually the way the figure is designed.
Oh,
Because
okay.
in the movie, I guess he's maybe missing a piece of his ear or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
it scared me for a second because there is actually a tiny piece missing. But that's
Oh, nice.
apparently that's how the figure is designed. So yeah, those are my. Again, I'm not gonna go deep into this figure rabbit hole because I've seen Team Nerd Herd's toy box segments and all that, and some of that stuff looks tempting. I'm like, but I can't because I had a situation where I had a Funko phase where basically I was collecting Funko Pops. I don't anymore. I actually ended up getting rid of my Funko Pops because it was basically taking up too much of my shelf space. And unlike comics where you can put them in short boxes,
Oh, dude.
Funkos, especially if they're in box, it doesn't take that much to basically, fill up one, shelving unit. So I kind of had to step away from Funkos because that was another rabbit hole that, I found myself going deeper and deeper into. So I'm like, okay, I gotta nip this in the bud. Like I was joining like Funko foreign groups for some reason, as if I had something to contribute to that group.
See, I pushed myself away from Funko, but I did buy Funko for my wife.
Okay.
When Funko barely started, so she has one of the most expensive Funkos, I was told. And
which one is it? I wouldn't know, but I'm just curious.
She has I bought her a San Diego D23 Lotso flocked Funko.
Oh, okay. The flocked ones generally I know go for some
Yeah.
money, especially like those convention exclusives.
Yeah.
Right.
And when that came out, I just walked up to the booth. Nobody was collecting it. And it was $5 or $8. I don't remember the price. And I'm like, all right, I'll take it. I go, can I get two? He's on, no, it's only one per person. Oh, okay, I'll take one. And then I bought a Steamboat Willie, like large one. And I'm like, oh, can I get the Steamboat? And he's, oh, yeah. So I just took him to her before we were married, and she loved them. She has them actually right here in my room. But
damn,
I went through.
Yeah,
I think I have no more than 30 because that's her thing. She likes the Disney.
That's a manageable number. 30 is very manageable. And the thing is with Funkos, like in your wife's situation, you bought it as a gift, right? It wasn't so much that she was like a collector, I guess, per se.
Yeah.
So that's a different scenario. But it's funny because you're talking about like values, right? Like at the time when Funkos weren't big, I did collect some of them, and I guess they're more valuable once they're quote unquote back in the vault or something.
Yeah.
Like those like because I was a big Disney fan, so I had like I think I had Jafar and the genie from Aladdin, and apparently those were not like I know that they made different versions of them, but the original wave of Jafar and the genie apparently went, but I got rid of them. So
yeah, see, he's pretty smart right there. Being selective on your Funkos. That's the way I tell thank God my wife just likes flocked ones, or that they're cute. So that's not the hard part, and usually they're not limited edition ones. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know that they have these like what is it, like these? Do they still have the thing called Pop in a Box or something where you mail in for Funkos or something and they give you like random Funkos every month?
See, that's more of a hardcore Funko person. I'm just
yeah.
My wife sends me a picture. She goes, "I like this one. Got it. I'll go try to find it." But if it's not, I'm not into that.
Yeah, I go to GameStop nowadays and I just see walls and walls of Funkos, and I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not into this because I can easily pick out certain things that I'd want if I was still collecting the stuff right now.
Yeah, but for me, it's just Transformers. That's all I want. If they, thank God, there's only I think one series, and then that's all I have. I'm like,
okay.
But
and that's the thing, like even with my new comic book day stuff, I trimmed it down to certain franchises. Like I only collect TMNT, Batman.
Yeah.
Like Venom. Like I kind of had to narrow down my new comic book day pull list as well because it was getting ridiculous in terms of how many books I was spending, and like in terms of volume, not so much the cost, but the volume of the books that because a lot of the times I'm like reading them, but then I'm like, okay, now I just have long boxes. And listen, if you have the storage space for it, more power to you. But I'm in a situation where I actually have to start offloading stuff to kind of make it a bit more saner around my room.
Yeah. But hey, if you collect pops, cool. That's your thing. So
if it's your jam, it's your jam. As long as
yeah.
listen, as long as you enjoy it and you're not resenting it for it, like
Yeah.
you're not resenting the hobby, then all the more power to you.
Heck
Hold
yeah.
up, let me. So we talked about nostalgic properties. Again, I'm a big '90s TV guy, so
I remember
Biker Mice
that.
from Mars, number
Yes.
one. Hard to find actually in the wild, but
Yes.
you know, this one was from a collection I picked up like last year, so they actually had this in there. And the first issue of the Sonic ongoing series, and this is a Canadian price variant, which is actually even harder to find and in good condition.
That one's sick.
Again, I was a Sonic guy back in the 90s because I had the Sega Genesis. So, and this one I couldn't believe for the price I paid. I bought the full Iron Fist series, so obviously it came with the first Sabretooth.
I found that in a box. Like I bought a mystery box from a guy.
Oh, nice.
At a yard sale, and that was in there.
Wait, a yard sale was selling mystery boxes? That's the first time I've seen that.
Like he just had a box of comics. He's like, this is a box of comics. I don't know what I had. It's been here since I moved, so I just grabbed it and I put it in different boxes.
Okay.
So he's all, I call them mystery boxes. He goes, oh, there's like 20 books in there, but you don't know what you're gonna get. I bought the box for $5.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So I love that book.
Oh, there's something else I gotta show you. It's a bit back, but I'm gonna run through these first, and then because you just remind me of another cheap find that I ended up finding for like $2
sure.
that I ended up grading. So this one, I know Null is coming, and I'm a big Venom fan. This one, I still like this cover. It's a sketch cover.
I still love that
it's the
cover.
1 in 25. Third print. It's a wraparound. Venom 25.
I love that cover.
Yeah. Not an easy book to get, actually. I mean, it's not exactly expensive, but it's like at the time stores weren't ordering 25 copies of the third print to get this ratio.
That's a sick book.
So this is just dumb luck on my part. I lucked into these two books a few weeks before Across the Spider-Verse came out. And it was from a guy that I previously bought a short box from. So he actually reached out to me before putting his stuff on Marketplace. And he said, listen, I wanted to get rid of these books, but I'll sell them to you first before putting them up. And I ended up picking up this one.
Oh, nice.
And
are you Miles fans? Oh, you froze on that one.
Was I frozen again?
Yes.
And this one also.
Second.
So I picked up.
Oh, nice. Oh, 9.8 both.
Here's the thing, though. The price that I ended up paying for this one, with shipping included, still ended up being cheaper than a 9.8 that was going at that time. I'm not talking about 9.8s now. At the time, both of these total combined was still cheaper than the 9.8 of this.
Nice.
So I was super stoked to have. I already had raw copies of this, but just to have the 9.8s, I had to have that one, especially for the price that he was selling it for. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah.
Next batch coming.
All right. That's cool, Mike. Hey, you got it, brother, in your collection. A low grade is better than a no grade, and that's not even a low grade. That's a high grade. Hell yeah. I just stayed away from rebuying comics I had before, so grails I used to need anymore. I think my collection. Hey, you got to think it, you're collecting any way you want, brother. Right. Excellent pickups. Yes. Hey, thanks for all you guys hanging out with us. I appreciate it.
So, if you follow me on other channels and all that, it's a running joke that this is actually my favorite Jim Lee cover.
Yeah.
Actually, not across that. It's actually one of my favorite comic covers of all time.
Yep.
X-Men number 11, Jim. It's actually also the last. Later, it's actually I think it's the last Jim Lee issue that he did until Scott Lobdell, I think, took over for the series. So basically, I made a joke where I want to like one of my long-term goals is to have a short box full of these books of this cover alone. So I actually have.
You have the same problem that I do with Alpha Flight 33.
Wait, what's Alpha Flight 33 again? What's one?
First
what
Lady
is that one?
Deathstrike.
I do have I do at least have one copy of that one because I am
I
a
have
Mutant fan, so I do
15.
have a copy. You have 15 copies? Okay, so I don't know if I've reached I think I should have cracked at least 10 copies so far. But on top of that, I did go to the Jim Lee signing and I got
Nice.
okay, so here's a funny story about this one. Jim Lee was signing with Alex Sinclair and Scott Williams.
Oh,
here's the thing.
Three Amigos. Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. You know, in CGC, you tell them who you want this book to be signed by because I got it. Because the thing is, you submit it during the expo and then they get it signed by Jim Lee or whoever.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Jim Lee, I met him, and I signed him. And I got him to sign this book. And then the facilitator said, "Hey, look, Alex Sinclair and Scott Williams are also signing. Do you want this book signed by them?" I said, I only wrote Scott Williams because Sinclair didn't do any work on this book. Yeah. They messed up and they got Sinclair's signature as well on top of Alex. It's like, my thing is, didn't Sinclair, wouldn't Sinclair question why someone would give him an X-Men 11 to sign? He just signed it without. I specifically and I actually checked my form. I said, Jim Lee, Scott Williams, no Alex Sinclair, but Sinclair still ended up signing it. So
hey, that's 1 of 1. You got a 1 of 1.
It's a 1 of 1, yeah. And again, this was never gonna leave my PC anyways, but it was just kind of funny that it's like when someone asked Stan Lee to sign like a book that he had nothing to do with. So there is a rare second print.
Oh, I want that one.
So yes. This was only available in I think the Pressman board games. You had to it was like a mail-in order book.
Yeah.
I got this through Marketplace. Someone across the country was selling this on Marketplace. I negotiated the price on this one. Got a better deal than I was expecting. And yeah, now this is in the piece as well. Now I have this version. I have the newsstand and I have the regular. So I have basically all 3 versions of this cover that I needed.
That's the one I need. I want to get that one. I'll find it one day.
The thing is, it's not like I'm sure there's copies floating around online. The tricky part is either finding a decent copy or finding a copy that you're willing to pay the price for. That was the situation I was in. I always found copies here and there, but it's either they're too expensive or the condition was a bit trash. Because again, these were mail-in orders. These weren't from LCSs. They came if you pre-ordered a board game or something like that. So it's not like all these books were kept in great condition.
I'm hoping I find one at a yard sale or something like that when somebody tries to get rid of their collection.
Stranger things have happened, man. Stranger things have happened. Look, you found your first Sabretooth, right? At a yard sale, so
that's what I'm going for.
Yeah. Okay, so this is part of the middle of the hall, but it almost feels like they should almost cap off the ending, but whatever. It's in my lap, so I'm just going to show it right now.
Okay.
So look, when I came to this hobby, like everyone has gold books, right? And then the thing is, this was one of those books I never thought I would ever get, just because either it was too expensive and the price kept soaring. But at a certain point, I kind of made peace with the fact that I'm willing to spend a certain amount for this book. So I ended up picking up.
Nice.
And the thing is, just to kind of stop first versus second appearance, I ended up getting.
Nice.
So the thing is, the reason, and I went to my presser, and and he actually said that the reason this got a 3.0 is because you can't really tell on the camera, but there was water damage that actually came to the back cover. It's a bit dark.
You froze for a second, so hold it there for a second. Hi.
The water.
You're still frozen.
Am I back?
Yeah, now you're back now.
Okay, perfect. I don't know which part I cut off, but I was saying like the reason this got a 3.0 is because there was water damage that kind of went through the back cover.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
You can kind of see the dark, but the thing is, the front still looks very presentable.
Yeah.
And actually, I went to my presser, and he told me that had it not been for the water damage, this probably would have graded like a 6 or something.
Nice.
So, But the thing is, this is slabbed anyway, so I'm not gonna remove it from my slab. So it still presents nice. So honestly, for the price I paid, I was gonna keep it.
Yeah, great pickups, dude.
So someone mentioned Stan Lee, right? In the chat. So
it was Mike.
okay, you guys have like I think you guys have this thing called like half price books, right? Where there's like used books and all that.
Hmm?
Okay, so in Canada in Toronto we have a shop called BMV. It's like a used bookstore. Well, you tend to find a lot of books, graphic novels, and now they started selling comics at discount prices. So here's the thing. I went to the I guess the comics section, and I picked out this hardcover, and it's priced at the sticker price is still there on the jacket. It's $30. It's $30, right?
Uh-huh.
And then there's something very unique about this book that I actually questioned him on, and here's what it is.
Oh, damn.
I don't know if it's. Let me.
Yeah, no, it's good. He signed it.
Stanley signed it, and here's the thing. Icing on the cake. This is actually numbered. Wait, where's the numbering? Whoops.
There you go. All right.
Numbered 633. It's a John Romita art. So the thing is, the dude at the counter, he thought it was a fake because I guess this was priced at $30 or something. Turns out, I did some research. This is because Marvel did a book called How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. They released a deluxe edition, and it even says on the back, this is only limited to 850 copies. So there's only 850 copies of these in circulation. And the fact that I ended up finding this one. Now, here's my regret, though. They actually had two of these in the shelf. I only picked up one.
You should have grabbed them both.
I only grabbed one. Again, this is before I was into comics and like I was really heavily into comics. This is just because I do a lot of drawings and all that. So I bought this book just for the sake of it's a how to draw Marvel characters. But yeah, that's the only regret. But the fact that I at least have one of these in the collection,
that's badass.
And it's actually one of my two Stanley signatures. The other one I picked up from Comic Aussie's Whatnot auction. I picked up a signed ASM 365, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but those are the only two Stanley Sigs I have in my collection. This and that book. So it's just one of those things. It's like I said, you never know what you'll find in the wild.
Yeah, that's true.
Hold up.
I think I have my Stanley. I have two Stanley autographs.
Both which ones?
I was able to meet him, and this one I keep.
Oh, okay, you actually met him.
Which, like, it has meaning to me. It doesn't. It's not worth. I wasn't from value because
no, it's sentimental. I mean, sentimental still has just as much value.
My wife gave me this for my birthday, and this was a con exclusive print. So I need to get it framed.
You see, the thing is, what's cool about this is it's not like one of those covers I've ever seen before.
Yeah. So I went to meet him.
That's pretty dope.
And I had him sign it.
You know what? I'll give Stanley kudos for signature placement. He seems to, I guess he's done it enough time. He knows where to place signatures. I've seen certain creators where it's like, dude, I can't even see his face anymore. What the hell?
Yeah. So that's like when you saw that book, I was like, oh, that's badass. Because it's not something, I take it as what he created and he helped create. And that's why I wanted his autograph on this.
Yeah.
I got it on another book with Todd McFarlane, just because of the way Todd talked about Stanley. So I got my 300 signed by Stanley and Todd McFarlane.
Okay, so, no disrespect, but there are certain Stanley signatures I question. Because the thing is, first of all, he's not exactly a cheap signature. So I've seen certain books floating around where I see Stanley Sigs, and I'm like, wait, what's this signature? Why did someone have this book signed by Stan Lee?
Yeah.
Like, it's like a random X-Men issue from like the Claremont run. And I'm not even talking about like a key book. It's like a random, like, let's say X-Men, I don't know, like 130 something, where basically there's nothing going on, but Stanley signed it. And I'm like, wait, well, why? He's not like, you know,
there are people like that. And I had people do it. I did it because it was not for me to sell. It wasn't there. He created the character with, he was one of the creators of the thing. And Tom McFarlane is one of my favorite Spidey artists of all time.
Yeah.
So
I
I
agree.
wanted
I
both
think
their
Mark
autographs in the
McClung.
same book. And I wasn't doing it for selling purposes. I just used it for me as a love for the two people, the two creators, but they're both artists in their own right. So that's what I got it for. I have seen somebody who had a Ghost Rider because it was a Marvel book. He was getting it signed by Stan Lee. And I was like,
Wait.
I go,
Which book? Sorry, which book?
A Ghost Rider book.
Like, are we talking like Bronze Age Ghost Rider?
No,
like...
modern. It was a modern at that time Ghost Rider book, and I was like, looking at it, I'm like, "You're saying Stanley he's gonna sign that?" He's all, "Yeah." He's all, "I'm gonna have him sign the Ghost Rider." I'm all, okay. Like in my head, I was like, "Why?" But I'm like, "It's your money, dude. You do what you want to do." I was
all
like,
the more power to you. I mean,
yes.
Like my thing is like, dude, you probably have a long box full of stuff that you could probably pull. That's a better selection than that Ghost Rider. That's just my. It's what okay. Look, if Ghost Rider is the only book in your collection, and then that's the only thing that's different. But I would think that he has more stuff that he could probably pull up.
Totally, but to me, it was like it's a love that I wanted to have in my collection. I'll never.
That's different.
Yeah,
that's
so
different.
That I'm just keeping for myself. So
yeah, same here. I mean, I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. Like I said, just the story behind it. The fact that I found it at a used bookshop, of all places, and the dude at the counter dismissed the fact that that's Stanley's signature.
That's a great find, dude. That's badass. Damn.
Hold up. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was like, shoot, we did this for an hour and a half.
There's a bit more stuff, and I'll wrap
let's
up.
Go, dude. As much as you want. Time's flying good. I like it. Katie, what's up? I missed some of the things. My Star Wars collection was built in half price Memorial Day and sell back. Oh, nice. When you can find deals on your collection, it's always best. I love that. Did I miss somebody saying bye? See you, Mike. You're out of here, Mike? All right. You have a great day, brother. Have a great day, Mike. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. All right.
So going back to Street Fighter, fast forward into like Fan Expo 2019. I mentioned to you earlier on the show that I picked up a sketch cover to get a commission, hopefully. So actually, the last Fan Expo I went to was in 2019, right before the whole pandemic situation. So I actually got this. Adon is actually one of my favorite SF characters in SF4. So this was by artist Joe Ning, who actually did work on the actual comic series. So I actually got them commissioned.
That's sick.
A head sketch, like a bust. I actually have another one which I can't find, but yeah, this was pretty cool. He basically he asked me which character I wanted, and then I just came back to his booth the following day, and he had it done. Because I was there for the whole weekend, so. And so this is where the hell? Okay, there it is. This is kind of a tip where support artists that you feel have talent, because you never know how big they'll blow up. Back in 2015, when I knew nothing about comics, I just liked art, Street Fighter, and all that. I went to this dude's booth. He basically had prints. Like, you know, some artists alley, they're just selling prints, right? So he had this giant print. I liked it so much, I bought it, and I had him sign it. This is back in 2015, mind you, 8 years. So I was not really collecting comics. So this was.
Oh, nice.
But you know who the artist is?
No.
John Jiang.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. 2015 John Jiang. He actually signed it, and his name's actually at the bottom. Well, the signature's right there.
Okay, I see it now. Yeah, there you go.
And then he kind of wrote his name. But yeah, this is a John Jiang print.
Oh,
and
nice.
now you see John Jiang doing a lot of exclusive covers and all that. I don't know how big he was I don't think he was that big, because his booth was relatively quiet when I went, and he was mainly selling prints and all that. So I don't know if he was really doing. I have to look him up, but I know like recently I've seen a lot of his exclusive covers and all that.
Yeah. So, dude, that's sick.
You just never know. You just never know. And speaking of prints, in 2019, I told you I went to a Jim Lee signing, right? So basically, do you remember when they had that Detective Comics 1000 anniversary issue? Yes. So during the signing, I bought the package where basically you get a giant lithograph of the cover. So you can't really tell, but it's kind of hard. I had Jim Lee cited, and then a bunch of other creators.
Oh, nice.
Who was it? I think Greg Capullo, Mirko
I see
Andolfo,
Capullo. Yeah. Okay, Scott
Mitch.
Campbell.
Sorry.
Yeah, is that Campbell on the left?
No, I didn't get Campbell. Campbell wasn't there. I got Mitch Gerard. What's his name? Jason Fabok.
Oh, okay.
And I'm missing a few names. I'm missing Fitch. What's his first name? Fitch.
David Fitch.
Yes, David
Yeah.
Finch. But
Oh,
yeah,
I see his autograph. I see it now. Nice.
But yeah, I was able to get several of these in the print, so
That's a sick.
cool.
I like that cover. That's the midnight release one, isn't it?
Yeah, the midnight release I think was horizontal
Sideways?
or something.
Yeah.
Sideways, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sick.
sticking to video games, this was
That's a cool cover. I love that cover.
the second print.
Ooh,
Andre Sorrentino.
nice.
And there's one more thing, because you told me that you found like your yard sale find, right? So there's one more book I wanted to show you.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Dude, I appreciate you all chilling with us. He's trying to beat John's Comics with Kids for the longest stream, which I appreciate him hanging out with us this long. But this is badass. Dude, his collection's amazing. That's what I love to do, is especially get to know you guys better and to see what you collect. Because I know everybody's based around comics, but when I get to see your other stuff, that makes it cool. So I know he was a big TMNT fan and Street Fighter. So getting to see his Wolverine and everything else is cool. Yeah, dude. Volunteer, that book's like way up there.
So, because your story about your yard sale find kind of got me back to thinking how I mentioned back in 2018 I got back into the hobby, right? And then there was an ad I responded to where a guy was selling, because he was moving from one house to another, and he was selling some of his collection. So I went to his house several times just to pick up books here and there, and he had these detective comic books, these issues. It had basically the full Black Mirror series.
Oh,
from Scott Snyder.
Snyder and Capullo.
Yeah.
I mean, Jock. Sorry.
Jock and
Snyder and Jock. Yeah.
But Capullo didn't do that. Yeah, so you're right. Capullo did that. I'm thinking New 52.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So he basically had like a lot of, I think it was like 20 or something books. I asked him how much he wanted for it. It came out to like $2 an issue. So like 40 or $50 or something.
Oh, nice.
So obviously one of the books, the key book, I ended up sending to CGC.
Oh, nice.
And I got graded a 9.8. Again, that's probably one of my other steals of that Batgirl. I think takes the cake in terms of steal in my collection, but this is probably close to it to get a 9.8 copy.
Hell yeah.
And there's actually one more. Sorry, I said this was the last one. There's actually one more. So hold up. So I'm not a big magazine collector, but my LCS had this on a claim sale, and apparently I got there just in time because another dude was about to claim it 8 seconds after I hit claim. He had this for $100 Canadian. $100 Canadian.
Nice.
First appearance of Man-Thing.
Yeah.
And the reason he had it for $100 is they called it tape repair. So I'm like, oh crap, tape repair. Tape repair, I'm thinking it's in the spine or something.
Yeah.
The tape repair actually turned out to be here, which wasn't really a big deal to me. You can't really see it, but basically it's like, see that dark spot?
Okay. Yeah.
That's the tape repair that they're talking about. But yeah,
nice.
This ended up like, and then the thing is, I just for shits and giggles, I looked online just to see what I've seen this book with a chunk of the cover missing, going for like I don't think I've ever seen anything this cheap online. So the fact that I got it for 100 Canadian, I'm like, I'll take it.
Nice pickup, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kelly's. Who cares? I'll take it.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
But see,
Dude,
but that's my point though. Like for me, I think what keeps me in the hobby is the thrill of the hunt. In terms of finding things in the wild that I shouldn't be paying this low of a price, but I just am. Because like I said, anyone can basically get these books if you have a credit, like if you want to charge it to your credit card at a certain price. But I think it adds a little something when you're able to find it in certain interesting circumstances that you would normally not find these books in on the regular. So
no, I totally agree, dude, that's an amazing collection. Thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, it's a, like I said, I had to kind of really fine tune what I wanted to share, because dude, if this went on, I probably we could be doing this for hours, but obviously we had to keep it kind of constrained. So I'm like, okay, I gotta pick which ones I want to show off and all that. So,
but I do appreciate you showing off your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collection, your Street Fighter stuff, your video game stuff, which I know, but some people who just see you here and there, they don't get to see that part, because I do watch your show, so I do see what you collect. What I'm happy that you shared it with all of these people from the community, and that's what I love. So I appreciate you, brother, for taking your time and doing this.
Yeah, listen, just like you, I'm just another geek, dude, that just like geeking out. And I don't think we're meant to do these things in a solitary situation. I think it's nice when you can share it with like-minded people. Because look, I like when I go on IG, I dig looking at other people's stuff when they find stuff. It almost motivates me when I find people posting stuff like, oh, dude, I found this in like the dollar bins or something. It kind of motivates me, like, oh, okay, there's stuff out there to be found. So it's always nice when I see people in the community kind of sharing what they have. So it's like I said, I don't think this is meant to be a lone wolf kind of hobby.
Yes, and I love cheering people on. So kudos to you for finding those. When I hear stories like that, it makes me giddy. And again, Bobby hit it. The hunt is real. When you can find it, that it makes it even more sweeter that's in your PC. That's what I
exactly. It's, and I know Cali Comics is saying that he can't wait to see me back on the hunt. I kind of semi-retired from the hunt in terms of single competition. It kind of, I got a bit too competitive on that show, so I kind of had to take a step back. I don't know if you're aware, JD, but there's a show Tony Sanders does where you basically compete against other people with books that you find on the hunt. Dude, when I was in the thick of things, I would really take that stuff a bit seriously, just because that's just my nature, I guess. So I kind of had to take a step back, and I kind of had to retire myself just so that and watch other people compete. So.
And I do watch them. I do like his show. I just started watching it maybe a few weeks ago, so I always somebody told me about it, but I didn't know what it was, and then I started following it. And I do appreciate the love of wrestling and comics put together.
Yeah, he definitely bleeds through his love for pro wrestling merged with comics, because there is a bit of synergy between both. Because I don't know if some people might not be aware of it, but the Hulk and Hulk Hogan were somewhat I think that was actually almost, I can't remember the whole situation, but it was almost like a trademark situation where the Incredible Hulk, that's how the name Hulk Hogan came about. They used it from Marvel. And then, there is a lot of synergy in wrestling and comics that people might not be aware of.
Yeah, that is true. And maybe if you ever want to, strap up the boots, maybe I'll go with you and we could be a tag team or something. Because I don't think I have the talk like San and Biggie. Freaking, their mic game is way better than mine, and I do like to talk, but in front of an audience like that, I don't think I have that kind of vocabulary to keep it going, like rhyming or anything. So on that part, I don't think I can hang that.
Here's a funny thing about that. Like the thing is, I get into character a bit too much sometimes, and then there's a guy, a good dude in the community, Boston Chris, who's a regular on the show, and then we got into a bit of a rivalry where me and him were competing. It got to the point that the trash talking, people actually thought I got messages in my DM asking if that was legit or something, and I'm like, no, we were just and the thing is, we actually messaged you. Yeah, and the thing is, we messaged each other because Boston Chris wasn't sure if I was being serious, and I messaged him saying like, "Look, we're cool, right? We're just, this is just for like, we just want to make sure that, none of this like stuff was actually taken seriously. We're just,
Yeah.
playing for the camera." So it's just fun times in front of the camera. So, and I know that bottom tier is asking how come he has more subs than me. That's possibly because I barely put any content on my channel.
Yeah.
So like I said, I only started posting stuff recently. So,
but Fanboy, appreciate you subbing him up. Got you to 150.
Hey, Fanboy, appreciate it. Like I said, I am going to try to post more stuff. But for me, it's just the discipline of actually posting stuff online. I don't know. I give kudos to guys like you and other people that actually have dedicated channels that can do this on a regular basis. Because I don't know if I can keep up. That's why, like, I'm like the dude that will post a video once in a blue moon. So I do give you kudos for kind of keeping that strict regiment where you have like your weekly show that you keep going, whether like especially on weekends when I'm sure you have obligations and all that. So, respect to you guys.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Look at another sub up. Thank you, Marcus. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Keep him on the lookout. He's going to be dropping content on his show.
Ragin, I'm gonna drop a bit of news. Let's do it. Well, not so much. Not news. I guess it's more of an idea. So the thing is, I'm trying to. I don't know how I'm gonna go about this, but you mentioned that Team Murdered has that Game Addicts channel, right?
Yeah.
So I'm actually I'm a big Street Fighter fan. So the game just came out last week, and I know there's one or two guys in the community. Like I know Carlos picked up the copy. I'm actually thinking at some point of doing like a roundtable discussion on the actual game and what our thoughts are, and then having people in the community that have actually bought the game, and you know what, even people that are curious about the franchise itself to hop on just to ask questions and all that. So it's one of those ideas I'm kind of spitting around. So I've reached out to some people in terms of like if they want to be guests or not. But listen, if you own a copy or just want to talk SF, hit me up. I'm thinking of doing it. I have no idea when or what time. It's just an idea that I'm just throwing out there in the ether.
Nice. Well, keep on lookout, guys. And if as long as I'm not at work, dude, I'll jump on and just get info from you guys to make me even like.
You're more than welcome to. Like I said,
because
the thing is, like one thing about this game that I really like is they made it accessible to newcomers as well as veterans. It's one of those. It's like the saying goes, as it's easy to pick up, it's hard to master. If that makes sense.
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
So it's one of those games that they made it. They gave enough tools for newcomers to basically learn the mechanics. People that had never played fighting games before, but it also gives enough depth for people like me who are. I'm not even gonna say I'm a pro player. I would say I'm intermediary. Like I get my ass kicked all the time online, but I do my fair share of ass kicking. But it gives enough content for guys like us that want to get a bit more depth into the game. So it's a best of both worlds, which I like about this new version.
Yeah. I look forward to that, and hell yeah, I'll jump on just to hear you guys chat about it and give my 2 cents of the beginnings and get me interested in the new game, because now you have me tempted to buy a new console just so I can play that game.
Yeah, no. The thing is, you maybe listen. Full disclosure, maybe try it out first before you commit to a full console purchase. I don't want you basically. Hyper basically just made me go $600 in the hole for a game.
No. I'm a video game head. I'm not a hardcore video game head, but I've bought those Xbox games systems because of my first godson. And I have another godson who's getting old enough that he's gonna want to play that when he comes over and sleeps over at my house. So it gives me an excuse to have that game with the system, and he's gonna play what he likes.
Okay.
So it's gonna serve a second purpose besides just that one game.
I was gonna say like maybe reevaluate your decision if you're just hinging on that one game to be your console purchase. I'm like,
there you go.
Like I'd probably advise against that.
Yeah, we need my brother to be in the chat. Yeah. Oh, he plays Street Fighter competitively.
Oh, nice. Damn. Okay. I'm definitely. I'm not at that tournament. Like I like to be, but I'm nowhere near there yet. I'm a grasshopper still learning the mechanics.
Yeah, Mark is going crazy on Dr. Mario. Nice.
I didn't even know there was co-op in Dr. Mario. Is there co-op? I mean, not co-op. Is there head to head?
I don't know. I don't know if he's pulling your chain because you know him.
Wait, actually, I think there is.
Oh,
If I remember, didn't Dr. Mario have a 2-player option? Or was that Tetris? I can't remember if it's Tetris or Dr. Mario, where you had 2-player option.
I thought it was a Tetris.
Well, I mean, unless the competitively just means you just beat the high score, right? That could just be just as competitive. Because I know high score beating, like in the arcade days, I know that was the thing. You see what the top score is, and then you see if you can smash it.
Yes, like I have my Pac-Man little system here, and I try to do it with that.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, thanks, brother, again for chilling. I appreciate you. You guys all have a safe Sunday. You guys have a great week at work, or if you are retired, enjoy your week. I will be looking forward to your content that's coming again later today and Monday. Your whole crew. So make sure you guys sub them up, follow them for great stuff.
Thank you, JD, and
thank you.
Sub up to this man's channel as well. I told him backstage, this dude is a credit to the community because, like I said, you give people a voice for people that normally don't have channels. Like in my case, like I have a YouTube channel and all that, but there's guys like, Chef RD and all that have been on your show that normally don't have YouTube presence. You give them a chance and a platform to kind of geek out with you. So you're just as much of a credit to the community, man. And honestly, definitely sub up to this guy's channel. And he's when there's a lot of negative stuff going out there, you're a shining spot, man.
Hey, I'm just trying to be like you guys, man. You guys are just positive kids. Younger than me, so I call you kids, so I apologize for that. But no, you guys are just positive guys, dude. I love it.
Try to be. Well, I don't know if I would, if I'm being honest, I don't know if I would say I'm positive all the time, but we try.
Yeah, you guys do great stuff. So thank you again, everybody. I think next week I'm going to be on Phil's channel. I'm going to probably do a hangout, but that's about it. And then my next guest will probably be into July because I'm doing some con stuff. So the next one will be Lady Fantastic. So I can't wait to hang out with her too.
She was on the hunt as well before. She's a trash talker. She definitely knows how to trash talk.
She is. She plays Mario Kart, so she talks madness. So I love her for that. So I can't wait to hang out with her. So everybody, you guys have a great week and catch you guys later.
Peace.